In this video, the 300th HubNut video, I've brought the Dacia to Bridgnorth because I'm going to swap it for this E-Type Series 1. Oh, I think this is going to be a fun day. So yeah, I'm very thankful to my friends at S&G Barrett for giving me the opportunity to take out 50EE, a 1965 E-Type Series 1. It's being a 65 means it's a later 4.2 litre engine, but you've still got the covered headlamps, and you've got Jaguar's 4-speed all synchromesh gearbox as well. So well, let's go for a drive. Right then, shall we? Ignition on, and choke is in run. We already want a bit of cold, and so for those who don't know, a choke enriches the mixture and gives it a bit of extra throttle as well. I just realised I can talk to you in the mirror. So older cars tend to be a little rough just as they're settling down, but I think we'll get this one moving and she should warm up a treat. Got a light to tell me the choke's on, so that's all good. A massively long bonnet out ahead of me, which you're always slightly aware of when you're driving one of these. We'll turn the choke off now, she seems to be running well enough. If people could just stopping in front of me, that'd be good. Lovely whine of the transmission. They're always quite vocal in terms of drivetrain E-Types, because of course this is far from the only one I've driven, because I am the editor of Classic Jaguar magazine, which may seem completely at odds with HubNut, and in many ways it is, but I love the variety of my life. But I'm probably the only person who's jumped out of a Dacia 1310 and jumped into an E-Type. Now we're going to have a burble around the old town and let her warm up a bit. So the E-Type was famously launched, don't you dare, in 1961 with both cars, the Roadster and the last minute coupe, being driven over to Geneva for the grand unveiling at full pace. So 77RW was the first Roadster, and then at the last minute Sir William Lyons, the boss of Jaguar, decided he wanted the fixed head coupe there. The fixed head coupe was fairly late coming into the scope of things. There's some debate about who actually styled the E-Type fixed head coupe. Some say it was Bob Blake, the American genius who worked for Briggs Cunningham beforehand and then moved to Jaguar, and he made the XKSS, which was the road-going version of the D-Type. Some say it was his own project, some say Chief Engineer Bill Haynes had a hand in it, but whatever, it was truly beautiful. And we're not in a fixed head coupe, despite the fact we've got an actual roof fitted. This is a Roadster with a hard top, which is quite unusual. And certainly we're getting all of the attention as we drive this car through the very, very achingly pretty town of Bridgnorth. Nicer gear change than a Dacia 1310, I'll give it that. So the Jaguar E-Type is powered by the XK engine, which was launched in 1948, so that engine celebrating its 70th anniversary. And it was remarkable for 1948 because it was a twin overhead camshaft design. That was not the ordinary run of things. That was considered very, very oldie worldy. Not oldie worldy, newfangled is the word I'm looking for there. Oldie worldy is where we are at the moment. This road's a lot of fun, so we'll go down next. She's still warming up, so we won't go completely mad just yet, but especially not with a truck in front of us. So you got the XK engine up front in 4.2 litre form. They claimed 265 brake horsepower when these cars were new, but to be honest, that's slightly dubious. Probably more like 200. 265 was an SAE figure. That was not including all the ancillaries on the engine. A bit of a dodgy way of counting it. But this one's had a few tweaks and is more around the 230 area apparently. Thankfully, I'm pleased to say the brakes have been upgraded as well with BCC front brakes, which are developed and made in Cornwall. I paid a visit to that factory earlier this year, and fascinating. One of the other remarkable things is the rear suspension, which is fully independent with inboard rear brakes. I mean, pretty exotic stuff really, but Jaguar never sold the E-Type for exotic money. They sold them almost for a pittance really. They were very affordable for what they were. So we won't get much of a run because of that truck, but that's what it's all about with the E-Types. It's that low down, dirty grunt of the XK engine. You don't ring these engines to the red line in every gear. It's simply not necessary. You just enjoy the considerable mid-range grunt. Well, you do until you get held up by other people. These are the same roads I took the Matra Morena around, and that ended up being a remarkably frustrating experience as well. So as I can't actually enjoy the acceleration at the moment, let's enjoy some triple wiper action. Oh yes. Oh yes, I like the way the washers don't actually get over as far as my wiper over here. Oh well. And they're not very good at cleaning the windscreen either, because wiper blade technology back then was not very good. Still, triple wipers, I mean, that's got to be good, hasn't it? Right, got rid of the lorry, let's have a proper play. That's some very real performance, but it's okay, we've got the upgraded brakes to slow us down again. The amount of go you got with these, well, they claimed 150 mile an hour top speed, and that was probably a bit of a lie, to be honest. They tuned up the press cars. You certainly got enough grunt to have plenty of fun. Whoa. We're only revving the engine up to about 4,000 revs, so all that grunt is middling power. This road's a good test of the independent suspension as well. I'm going to assume the speedometer is lying. They always overstate things, don't they? But it certainly isn't hard to see what the appeal of these cars is. And I've driven plenty of E-Types and I just absolutely love them. Oh dear, Peugeot 206 in the bushes. I've been very fortunate to take this exact car up Shelsley Walsh, and oh, that was thrilling. It's a really good gearbox, a very good synchro mesh. Had the way in your Sangyong, come on. There. You do worry when you're driving a car this valuable about other road users. Oh yeah, this is living. But the whole car feels so alive. You really have to steer it in with this huge wheel, and we have to slow down for 30 limits because we obey the law. And yeah, with the growl, that induction roar, this car does have a slightly upgraded induction and exhaust, which helps explain the extra power. But I mean, you can feel the air being sucked into the triple carburetors under the bonnet. Oh, makes you realise how hard racing drivers had to work back then as well, because they were racing these on a track. And if you ever watched a Goodwood revival footage of people throwing E-types around on track, it's beautiful to watch. Way more power than grip. So the cars are dancing through the bends. We're not going to be doing anything like that on public roads. But anyway, I hope that gives you a taster of what I love about the E-Type Jaguar. We'll find somewhere nice and quiet and have a better look around. So let's have a proper walk around this car, and as we come to the side view, you will see just how lengthy that bonnet is. But look how well the hardtop suits the Roadster. It's just so rounded. But you've got gorgeous, delicate features like these tail lights which follow the line of the bumper. They're just so delicate and beautiful. And yeah, you can see why it sounds quite so meaty. The pipes don't sit entirely level, but who cares when they make such a glorious noise. And even the fuel flap has got a beautiful sleek look to it. Alright, let's go and have a nose under the bonnet. You'll have to bear with me because this is how you open an E-Type bonnet. First of all, you come to the passenger side. There's the trusty red backpack, and you do that. Then you have to go to the other side and do exactly the same thing. So while we're doing that, let's have a good old peek inside. We've got a speedo that goes up to 160. And to be honest, not too much of that is lying. There's a nice E-Type hub. We've got all the switches in the middle, the original flick style type, and a gear lever there. Normal handbrake. No rear seats, but a bit of a shelf area for storing stuff. And this one's got an upgraded, oh hello, Daimler Dart. This car's rival back in the day. Right, they've only got 2.5 litre V8s. Right. And now we very gently lift the bonnet. And this is the bit I don't like doing because I worry the overriders are going to smack into the ground. But there you go, that is the mighty XK engine in 4.2 litre form. 3 enormous carburetors. And here's the change. This is why it's got a different throttle pedal. It's actually got cables, although you've got a little beautifully machined mechanism to each carburetor. I believe that's part of an upgrade kit that S&G Barrett sells. And we've got an upgraded filter as well. The original would have been pure mechanical, because Jaguar, until the XJ6, weren't very keen on throttle cables. They thought they would bind and could create problems. But you can also see the upgraded brakes, built in Cornwall. They're very good. And unsurprisingly, we've got an electric cooling fan as well, which is very wise. These cars were a sod to keep cool back in the day. But you see, you end up with the overriders getting very close to the ground. They don't actually touch, but the number plate does. So you always lift an E-Type bonnet very, very gently. There you go. Right, we better take this car back. Are you going to come with me? Look at that, it's just clicked up 15,000 miles. I suspect that isn't the first time around for this one. But yes, do you wish you were here in this passenger seat? Or are you glad you're not with a complete nutter, hippie type bloke in a very powerful E-Type? Right, I can hear the steam trains of the Severn Valley Railway, but let's make our way back. Certainly don't be a shrinking violet if you've got yourself an E-Type. She does go well. I've driven quite a lot of E-Types. This one is definitely on the perky side, I'd say. Oh look, a Daihatsu Kure! With such torque, we're pottering along at 10 miles an hour in second gear. You don't get that with most video channels, do you? They're just so easy to drive. Incidentally, this is the light switch, so that's side lights and that's the full-blown headlights, which I might put on. It's a bit murky today. And there you go. I'm not going to bother with my traditional outro on this one, but if you've enjoyed any of my 300 videos, well, thank you very much. To be honest, the comments I get are the reason I keep doing these videos. And don't worry, this isn't a sign we're all going to change all of a sudden. There's another E-Type over there, one from Belgium. I wonder if he's going to the meet tomorrow. Yeah, where was I? Yeah. So don't worry, this isn't a sign that HubNut's going to suddenly go all up market just because I've got 300 videos up now and 15,000 subscribers. I'm still struggling to comprehend that, to be honest. This is just a special treat for me and hopefully you as well. But don't worry, I've still got some lovely cars to come your way. There's a 1979 Mitsubishi Colt. There's the most boring hot hatchback of the 90s, and a Lincoln Mark 8 as well. So plenty of variety here at HubNut. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I shall see you in a future video. Or should we just give it one last tickle? I should definitely say a big thank you to S&G Barrett as well for letting me loose in this car once again. Good times. Oh, just as a bit of bonus footage, here's the Jaguar 340 we've been working on in Classic Jaguar magazine. We've been covering the restoration of this car, or the recommissioning really. Put out bits of metal on a shelf behind me. So it's had an awful lot of metalwork replaced, some of which is just starting to go off again while they make decisions about paintwork. And yes, obviously that's not the final amount of filler on there. It's just getting everything working, ready for an MOT. All decisions are made about paintwork. I think we should call it Madonna because she's a bit gappy toothed, isn't she? But this is a 340, which is the later version of the Mark II. It's got Ambler vinyl instead of leather seats. It still smells magnificent. Looks like brand new seat belts as well. They've been fitted since I last saw it. And the interior is looking a whole lot more wholesome as well. So the 340s have much narrower bumpers, and to be honest, they're my favourite of the Mark IIs. But yeah, I'm looking forward to driving this car for the first time when that finally happens. We're getting ever closer. But I think all the switches should be fitted and not dangling from the dash. There's still little bits to do. But yeah, you can read more about this project in Classic Jaguar magazine. Visit shop.kelsey.co.uk where you can buy a copy.